people have serious questions about the religion of Islam. Who are Muslims and what do they believe? Liberal Muslim scholars and clerics spin the news and continually promote Islam as the religion of peace, and that Jews, Christians, and Muslims worship the same God. But is this true? Where can we turn for the answers? To truly know what a faith teaches, you have to go to the book. And for the last 1400 years, that book for Muslims is the Quran. This collection of the sayings and teachings that Muhammad claimed to have received from Allah is the sacred text for over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. But the Quran was written in Arabic, so how can we in the West learn what it really says? Muslim apologists have produced several English translations over the years, but these have been carefully edited to hide many of the blatant errors, immoral teachings, and violent commands throughout the book.
In the beginning of our ministry, we decided to tell the truth about Islam. Therefore, we decided to buy the English translation of the Quran to use the verses which is written there. Sadly, I could not find one Quran to present the truth as it is written in the Arabic language. They sugarcoat it, they water it down. That's why we decided to go ahead and translate the Quran from Arabic to English, a true English translation.
The Straight Way of Grace Ministry, in cooperation with Arab and English scholars from around the world, has produced the most accurate English translation of Islam's holy book ever printed. Read for yourself exactly what Muhammad taught his followers about war and violence, about sex and marriage, about the treatment of infidels, and more importantly, what he said about Jesus.
Islam is not what I share with you or what some moderate Muslim tell you. Islam is the verses of the Quran. We must separate Muslim from Islam. There are so many wonderful Muslim people out there, but they are not true Muslim because simply they don't practice what the Quran teaches. So many American people say they accept Islam. They do not have any problem for Muslim to practice Islam in America, but same people rejecting Sharia, Islamic law, not knowing that Sharia, Islamic law is a practice of the verse of the Quran.
This translation has been produced with the modern student in mind, with several key features including study notes for the reader, detailed notes concerning errors and contradictions in the text, careful comparisons between the Quran and biblical accounts, and references to the original sources that Muhammad borrowed from. Special sections discuss key topics such as a compilation of non-Arabic words and idioms found in the Quran, an easy-to-follow chart outlining the fulfilled prophecies concerning Jesus in the Old Testament, and a challenging gospel invitation to introduce the reader to the scientific, historical, and biblical reasons for accepting the true Jesus as the only Lord and Savior.
In the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, the Bible said, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." It is time for us to read the Quran. It's time for us to find the truth for ourselves.
For ordering and more information, please visit thestraightway.org. Read the Quran for yourself and understand the roots of this dangerous faith. Individual copy and case pricing are available. The events of September 11th, 2001 forever changed our world. Among the many thousands of issues it has raised, two questions have risen to the top. What is Islam? And what do Muslims believe? The Straight Way of Grace Ministry was founded to answer these tough questions, as well as to prepare the hearts of Christians to share the gospel lovingly and with compassion to their Muslim neighbors. The Straight Way of Grace Ministry was established by Usama1, an Egyptian-born Christian who is fluent in both English and Arabic, and who holds a bachelor's degree in theology and a master's degree in missiology. Over the past several years, Usama has taken his series, Revealing the Truth About Islam, to television stations, radio stations, pulpits, and classrooms all across America. Equipping the church with both information and compassion in order to reach Muslims for Christ is the goal of the Straight Way of Grace Ministry.
Before we even start, I'd like to tell you, anything I will say here tonight, you need to go home and do your study work. Check me out. Maybe I'm not telling the truth, but I believe this presentation it will present the truth to you as you're going to hear people speak by themselves and tell you what's going on in our country. Freedom or surrender is the name of it. As you look on the screen above here, we see this. The name of the ministry is the Straight Way of Grace Ministry. This name comes from two verses. The first verse comes from the book of the Quran, chapter 1, verse 5. Muslim people pray as they pray 5 times a day and asking Allah to guide them to the straight way. As they say, show us or guide us the straight way. The answer obviously comes from the Bible, when Jesus said in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. So the fact is, Christianity is the only way, and we don't have to apologize for it. And if Muslims are really seeking God in their prayer, they should go to the scripture and read what Jesus said. They believe in Jesus, a good prophet and a good man, a good teacher. But obviously, he cannot be a good teacher if he taught such a teaching here, and it's not true. If he is the only way, then Muhammad is not another way. And if they believe Jesus is a good man, and obviously Jesus is a good man, claimed to be God. That's why the Jew picked up the stone to kill him. So obviously Jesus cannot be a good man if he claimed to be a good God. He'd be a bad man. And they also believe in Jesus to be a good prophet. And I don't know how good of a prophet Jesus is if he prophesied that he will die and on the third day he will rise again. And they don't believe in his death nor his resurrection. So far he's a bad teacher, bad man, and a bad prophet. Jesus cannot be the true, what we believe in as it's written in the scripture, if Islam is true. Both Christianity and Islam cannot be right. One of them have to be true and the other is going to be obviously false. And I meet lots of people in America who tell me, oh, we believe in everything. Islam is good, Christianity is good, everybody is good. That's obviously a result of no knowledge. Because if they have read the Bible, they will not believe in any other way but Jesus to be accepted to God in heaven. And if they have read the Quran, they will understand that Jesus cannot be the way as Muhammad claimed in his Quran. But this is just a little bit about our ministry, and I'd like to start this presentation with a song. I saw this song a year ago or so, and I liked it, and because it has so much truth in it. It maybe sound like a comedy. I know sometimes when I play it or in my presentation, people listen to it and laugh. But if you listen carefully to the words of the song, you will not really laugh, but you will cry. Because the song's words, if it's true, and I believe it's true, it make us sorry, not happy, or not laughing. Let's watch this song together.
Hey everybody, gather round. I'm here to give you anything you like. You want free college, energy, mortgages, whatever you like. You have come to the right place. Why? I'll tell you why. Who can take your money?
Who can take your money?
With a twinkle in their eye.
A twinkle in their eye.
Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government.
The government.
The government can.
The government can.
And who can tax the sunrise?
Who can tax the sunrise?
Who can tax the trees?
Who can tax the trees?
Let you run a business and collect up all the fees. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they mix it up with lies and make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
The government takes everything we make to pay for all of their solutions. Healthcare, climate change, pollution. Throw away the Constitution. And who can give a bailout?
Who can give a bailout?
Tell us to behave.
Tell us to behave.
And make the founding fathers roll over in the grave. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they mix it up with lies and make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
The government takes everything we make. They're power hungry and malicious. Their economics are fictitious. Soon we'll have to eat our dishes.
Delicious.
Oh, who can be a failure
Who can be a failure?
in so many ways?
In so many ways.
And instead of getting fired, hey, we'll give ourselves a raise. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they make it up with lies and make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
And your Uncle Sam
And the bigger the government, the more they can do. Nothing is free. They're promising our children free college. No, they're buying our children to be slave for the government in the future to come. Nothing is free. And they said the government can, because we allowed the government to be big, and the bigger the government, the more they can do. This is a picture of my family. Vicky and I have been traveling now, doing this ministry for 9 years. Believe it or not, time is flying. And this is our son Caleb, and we're happy to be here tonight with you. Every presentation we have done in the past, we always have a cover page or a picture to speak about the presentation. And me and Brother Randy work hard on this one, and we really, I believe we did a good job. For this picture will speak for 1,000 words. Freedom or surrender. The word freedom here, and as you see it, is almost the letters falling apart. We're losing the word freedom or surrender. Another word I can say this presentation is about freedom or Islam. What Islam have to do with surrender? The word Islam in the Arabic language, it means one thing and one thing only, is surrender or submission. Freedom or Islam. Christianity or Islam, as we get the depths of this seminar really. It's about Christ or Muhammad, Christianity or Islam. You can't have both. They cannot be both right. And in Christ we have freedom. We're going to see this in the end of our presentation. That only through Christ, through Jesus Christ alone, we can be set free. And the Lord has blessed this country, United States of America, because we have Christ to be the foundation of our faith. And today we're getting rid of Christ. We get rid of Jesus. We get rid of Christianity. We end with what? We end with surrendering Islam. Freedom or surrender. We will put another thing here, the Statue of Liberty. We know the Statue of Liberty. Normally it holds a torch. But here we see the Statue of Liberty hold a white flag. For when you have surrendering, when you surrender to Islam, when you lose your freedom, you will lift the white flag. You will literally be subdued to Islam. We have the American flag, obviously, as you see here, and in the back we see this huge, big Muslim flag coming over. It's to choose, but freedom of America or the surrender of Islam. And I thought I'm going to talk to the American people about the flag. And I said, I'm only here being in this country for what? 18, 19 years. I've been a citizen for 11 years. What can I teach American people about American flag? Well, you know what? As more as I look at what the American people do in their country, in their life, to their flag, the more I see they don't even understand what this country is. Here's what I'm going to teach American people. American flag is 13 stripes, 13 colonies. You know, it's amazing when I go and speak and travel all over this country and I ask people to name me the 13 colonies. They cannot tell them. They come up with 10, 11, 12, but I hardly found anybody to know the 13 colonies, where we came from, the foundation of this country. And then the 50 star. Why we don't have one big star? Why we have 50 star? Because the 50 individual state. But that's not what the government wants today. They want to control every state to make it one big star. As a matter of fact, this administration, which we hold right now, which run our country right now, they want to make the whole world one star. We'll all be equal to everybody else. American flag. The white and blue and red. And you ask people, what the white stand for? What the blue stand for? Why they choose the red color? The purity, the freedom, the courage. People don't know. We're losing the fact for what is American flag represent. Do you know that the American flag is the only flag is not made in America? It's made in China. The reason because we American people are cheap. I can go to Walmart now and I buy American flag made in China for $12.99, or I buy an American flag costs $30. So obviously I'm going to get the cheap one. I mean, how many flag American people buy every year? Once every 5 years when they get old, they buy a new one. Why can't we buy a flag made in America? Now, do you know that also the American flag is the only flag have no respect of its people? For the law of the United States of America gave me the freedom to burn the flag of the United States of America. You cannot, and I dare any American to go to Saudi Arabia or go to Egypt and make our flag, just the tip of our flag, touch the ground, or try to start a fire in an Egyptian flag. You as an American will be burned before the flag will be burned. After long discussion, the senators decided 5-6 years ago under Bush that there is no such a thing as you cannot burn the flag or disgrace the American flag. And they call this freedom of expression. I said, freedom of expression, that's freedom of stupidity. And today in America, if you are a fireman, or if you are a student, or if you are some American citizen who live in some gated community, you cannot fly the American flag because they consider it a personal item. Excuse me, American flag is a personal item? That is the situation where we are today. So we like to change. American people like to change. So we're going to do a little bit change the flag. Notice what's happened to the flag here. Slowly we lose where we come from, the 13th colony. And then we lose the 50th state and we become what? White flag. That's when your president, Barack Hussein Obama, bowed down to the foreign king, King Abdulaziz, the Saudi king. And is that the change you look for, America? Is that the change you believe in? It's sad to see this happening in front of our eyes in such time. We're going to watch a little bit video here. I know this is history, and I know, history repeats itself. If we have not learned anything from what took place in Egypt 1,400 years ago, when Muslims came to Egypt, was the leadership of Omar ibn al-As, and they invade our country. And if we're not learning anything of what took place in Scotland, as we're going to see in this video, of how William Wallace were fighting and encouraging his people to fight for Scotland to be set free from the British. And I hope we can even watch what's happening today. For Muslims in Europe are doing a great job. If we just look outside to what's happening in France, in Germany, and in Holland, in Ireland, in England, and all over Europe, we maybe can learn a good lesson that we will not allow this to happen to us here in America. Let's watch this video together.
I am William Wallace, and I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You've come to fight as free men, and free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Fight against that? No! We will run! And we will live. Aye. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
I love the statement where William Wallace told his people here in Scotland, what you live for without freedom. And I don't think American people realize the beauty of the freedom of America because you are taking it for granted. You have not lived without freedom. If you have lived in some other country like myself for a week or a month and you come back to America, you will appreciate this land. You will kiss the dirt of America for the freedom we have here. But since we have not lived in the other side, in the other country where you don't have freedom, we don't even really appreciate the freedom we have here. He said, we will not fight. We will just appease the people around us and we'll just serve the people of England and we'll live. He said, yes, you can do that. Because if you fight, you may die. But years from now, and I'm not saying years from now, I say 50 years from now, American, your children, perhaps for sure, your grandchildren will curse the day to have you as grandfathers and grandmothers, for you have done nothing to fight for their freedom. And I have a wonderful verse here in the Bible. It's very important, really, to understand why country destroy, why people destroy. What causes America to lose the power which God has given, the freedom and the beauty of this land? Why we lose it? It's very simple, because of this verse. In Hosea, that's a book in the Old Testament, chapter 4, verse 6, the Bible said,
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, Because thou rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
It's about knowledge. We don't know anything about Islam, and Islam is growing in our country. Islam is not growing in America to be another religion. Islam is growing in America to take over America. We have no idea what Islam is, and the worse than that, we don't want to know what Islam is. Not only we're ignorant of Islam, we're arrogant, we're not interested to learn anything about Islam. And I know this to be a fact, for I call churches all over this country. And literally, for every 100 church we call, we get one or two who are interested to have me to speak and tell the truth about Islam. So it's not because there's not somebody here to tell the truth. No, we don't want to know. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because thou rejected knowledge. Rejection of knowledge is the state of America. We don't want to know anything about Islam. And believe it or not, as I travel all over this country and I meet with people all over the state, I start talking with them about Islam. When I get serious about quoting verses from the Quran or quoting statement of Muhammad in the Hadith, people literally turn their back on it. They want to go away. In every court case we have been, which have something to do with honor killing or some Muslim attack in America or some Muslim way of taking over our country, was like in the case of CARE, the moment we tell the media, they come in there with their cameras and everything is great. The moment I start quoting the verse of the Quran, they turn their cameras off. It's like they're not interested. They don't want to know the truth about Islam. And that will destroy America. Not because we don't know only, we don't want to know. And that is a fact about the state of America. Now, what is freedom? We went to the dictionary to say, what does the word freedom mean? Maybe if we understand what the word freedom is, maybe we will wake up and hold on to what we got to continue to be a free world, a free country. So I found the first explanation of freedom is
the quality of being frank, open, or outspoken.
Do we have this in America today? We're losing it. Slowly, they will tell you, you can't say that, you can't say that, you can't do that. Where is the freedom of speech? Do you know that Muslims have freedom to say anything they want to say about Islam, but I, as a Christian, I cannot say anything against Islam. They will come to our universities and they say, Jesus is not the Son of God, and Jesus did not die on the cross and he never rose from the dead. Says who? Says Muhammad. And they have no problem to say that. But I could not go in the same classroom, speak to the same student and say, Muhammad is a false prophet. Muhammad is a liar. Because they consider my speech is hate, but their speech is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is you say all what you have, outspoken, openly, without any ties. What else about freedom? From the dictionary?
Freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action.
Is that where we aim into America? With the new care of Obamacare, will you be able to choose your doctor, your medicine, what procedure you want to have performed on your surgery or anything? Or they will tell you what is good for you and what they will offer you, you have to take. Freedom of choice or freedom of action. Last part, we're going to talk about freedom from the dictionary. The dictionary said,
freedom is liberation from slavery or restraint or from the power of another. Independence.
We're losing our independence in America. We're literally are going to be tied with ropes, and we have to do this because this is the only choice you have. Watch what the government is doing in America today. They literally will tell you what kind of equipment you should have in your house. How big is the TV you can run in your living room? And what temperature should your house will be? And what kind of food you can eat? What kind of drink you can drink? And you can't have this. This is losing our freedom. That's not what freedom is about. What does the Quran teach about freedom? Very important question. As I work in my translations of the Quran with lots of help, people help me from all over the world. As a matter of fact, some of these people were Muslim doctors and Muslim imams who became a Christian. But as I work through this translation of the Quran, we read the Quran exactly 26 times. We just keep reading one more time. Make sure that every sentence has been translated right, every word put in the right place, and the comma and the period and the dot and the capital letter and the not capital. I mean, we read the Quran 26 times. As I read the Quran in 4 years, I never found the word freedom exist in the Quran. What does the Quran teach about freedom? There's no freedom in the Quran. The word hurriya, which freedom in Arabic language, never exists in the Quran. But Muslims in America say, we believe in freedom. We love America. We love the freedom of America. Is that true? Is that what Muslims really believe? Is that what the Quran teach? That they should love our freedom? And I'll show you a picture in a minute here, which is this picture will speak for another, not southern word, but a 10,000 word, that Islam and freedom don't fit together. It's like water and oil. Don't mix together. But the word free man or free woman exists in the Quran. And let's look at just a few verses of what the Quran teach about free man or free woman. For example, in chapter 2, verse 178, the Quran said,
O you who have believed, retaliation is decreed on you for the murdered, the free man for the free, and the slave for the slave, and the female for the female.
retaliation, revenge. See, we don't use a court system in Islam. You go to a judge and you have a jury to say, is this person commit a crime? He must be put to death. No. If somebody commit a crime against you, you revenge equal to what damage happened to you. If I killed a slave of some free man, they don't kill me because I'm a free man. They pick up one of my slave and they kill him. If I kill somebody's wife, they don't kill me, the free man, but they pick up my wife and kill her. And that's what we call barbaric way of life. That's why when the Shia blow up a Sunni mosque, the Sunni go back and blow up a Shia mosque. And they're obviously innocent people in both mosques. But since they lost a mosque, they have to revenge equal to what they have lost, and they blow up another mosque from the other denomination of Islam. That is the way of life in Islam. Retaliation. But notice what the word said here. The free man for the free. That is one verse in the Quran talk about free man, not a slave. How about this next verse? Chapter 4, verse 25. The Quran says,
And whoever among you who cannot marry the free believing women, so have sex with those whom your right hand possesses from your young believing girls.
free believing woman. To marry a free believing woman, you have to pay a dowry. And a dowry is expense, it's money, it's camels, it's gold. And if you cannot afford to marry a free believing woman, then you can have sex, not marry, but have sex with unlimited number of slaves. Here is another verse in the Quran talk about the word free woman. How about 492?
And whoever kills a believer by mistake will be bound to free a believer's neck from slavery. And the blood money will be paid to the family of the slain unless they convert it into alms.
If a Muslim man by accident kill another Muslim man, his punishment, or he is bound to free a slave, a believer slave. Which, by the way, all these verses teach us that there is slavery in Islam. But here is the word, you have to free, if you kill a believer, you have to free a believer. That's the word free. But you could not find the word freedom as we understand freedom in the scripture in the Holy Bible. There is no freedom in Islam. Freedom once I longed for. And here I can share with you for hours about the struggle Christian lives through in all over the Muslim world, not just in Egypt. And I know all the time the media here, when they talk about Islam and struggle and Sharia, Islamic law, they always talk about Saudi Arabia. Well, they cannot build a mosque in ground zero because we cannot build a church or synagogue in Mecca. Excuse me, where else we can build a church? Can you build a church in Egypt? Can you build a church in any Muslim country? We should say, as long as Christian cannot build a church in all over the 57 Muslim country, Muslims should not build a mosque in America. But you say, oh, Mecca is like, this is the only place you cannot build a church. I had a very hard time in Egypt. Christians in Egypt suffer every day because they are Christian. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you're riding the bus, riding the train, or going to some business, or going to buy some bread, or going to buy some fruit or some vegetables. Just to enter to any business and you don't say the Muslim greeting, Assalamu alaikum, people immediately knows that you are not a Muslim. And we Christian in Egypt do not use the Muslim greeting, Assalamu alaikum, but we say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And there you have a different treatment just because you're not a Muslim. We are persecuted all our life And I wish I have a time to go through all what Christian goes through in Egypt for being a Christian, living in our own country, Egypt, the Christian nation, which used to be until Islam came and took over our country and invaded our life. Then I'll go to this wonderful picture, and notice what the man holding in his hand. Freedom, go to hell. Why do you think this man hates freedom this bad? He wants freedom to go to hell. What's wrong with freedom? And then there's this picture, democracy, go to hell. What's wrong with democracy? Why Muslim hate freedom? Why Muslim hate democracy? And by the way, this picture is not taking place in Saudi Arabia or in Egypt. This picture, hello America, wake up, it's about time to wake up, is in London, England. These are the same Muslim 30 years ago hold sign, we love freedom and we love democracy. Today, the true picture of Islam are showing to the Muslim, shown from the Muslim who live in Europe to the rest of the world. If we just open our eyes and see what's happening in England. Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why this man hate democracy? What is wrong with democracy? Why Muslims from all over the world in Iraq fighting us all the 7 years, they don't want to have Iraq to be a democracy. They don't want to have democracy in Iraq. Why? Because it stands against Islam. We don't understand this in America because we have not read the Quran, which does not teach anything about freedom, and we have not read the hadith, Muhammad saying. Listen carefully what Muhammad said in the next hadith. Can you imagine with me? If Muslims understand the Muhammad teaching of how democracy should run in a country, let me use the way of life we have here in America. Imagine with me, Senator Barack Hussein Obama running against Senator McCain, John McCain. And here is the rules. Whoever wins the election will be the President of the United States of America, and whoever lost the election must be put to death. Who do you think will run democracy in America? Can we have democracy in this way of life? No, we can't. Listen to what Muhammad taught the Muslim, how they can run their life in democracy. Muhammad said,
When the oath of allegiance has been taken for two caliphs, kill the latter of them.
wow, this is how Muhammad wants his people to live. And Muslims live by the saying of Muhammad as well as the saying of the Quran. So two people running for the office of Khalifa. The first one, he will win. That's the person become Khalifa. And the second one must be put to death. That's how Khalifa changed in the Muslim world. You kill the first Khalifa, you get another Khalifa. That's why we don't have democracy in 57 Muslim countries the last 1400 years. And that's why we will never have democracy, neither in Iraq or in Afghanistan. Trust me in that. The only way you can have democracy in a Muslim country is to get rid of Islam and get rid of such a teaching of Muhammad. Freedom I found and I held dear. I came to America and I love this country. And I love the freedom to be able to just live, do whatever you want. If you want to work and you want to sing to Jesus while you work, and I work for myself, and nobody can tell me what not to do or what not to say. If you want to eat a sandwich, nobody can tell you. If it's a month of Ramadan and you want to eat in the middle of the day, nobody look at you like you have performed a great crime. How dare you are in Egypt, Christian, walk in the street or in a bus or somewhere, eat a sandwich in the middle of the day in Ramadan. You can't do that there. Some people get killed for eating in some Muslim country, as in Sudan, for eating during the day. Because everybody's fasting. It's Ramadan. You can speak your mind in America. You can tell what you feel about something. If you think it's not fair, you say it's not fair. Other countries around the world, there's no such a thing. It's not fair. What we give you is what we give you. What we do to you is what we'll do to you. Can you imagine when I was in college and some of my friends who have a high degrees in high school, and they want study to be a doctor. And they want to work with babies and say, oh, I'm sorry, you're a Christian. You cannot work as a doctor with babies because then you maybe have to see some female Muslim, and that's not acceptable. So Christian cannot study to be a doctor to work with babies or moms who are pregnant. Is this fair? So much corruption in the Muslim world because we don't have freedom. I came to America, and I love the freedom I found here, and I enjoyed it so much until I come to this sign is very important. Freedom is now fading away. You know when I found out that freedom, which I found in America, will not last? It's when I found there is Muslim live in America. I remember seeing the first Muslim man in Columbia, South Carolina, 18 years ago. And then I went to some prison in Columbia, South Carolina, with the First Baptist Church. They were doing some ministry. And believe it or not, there were almost 120 Muslims in one prison. And then I moved to Florida, and I went to some prisons in Florida. And every prison I go to with Art Hallett Ministry, we found Muslim in every prison. In Henry Prison, Florida, there's 200 Muslims. And the number is growing. And I said, this freedom will not last. And when I saw what Muslims are doing in America, I said, for sure, this freedom will not last. No, not because they're here, because they're asking for their rights. Their number is growing. And that's when America will lose. As long as Muslim is minority in America, nothing will happen to you. But as their number grow, you will lose everything you got. Not only I felt the problem in America by Muslim growing and taking over this country is that there are so many people in America are fighting the truth. ACLU. What is ACLU? These are the people who stand against anything to do with Christianity. They got rid of the Bible, got rid of prayer, got rid of everything had to do with Jesus in public ground. And that's when you turn the light off. See, if Jesus is exalted in everywhere in America, I don't care how much Muslims try to do, because Jesus will win. But when you turn the light off and the darkness take over this country, Muslim will grow. And they will grow rapidly. Freedom, which is fading away. And it was 9 years ago. It was September 11. I was in New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. And Dr. Kelly called all the students to come to the chapel service. For we have a problem. And as I entered the doors of the chapel and I saw the two towers hit, I know these are Muslim. No doubt in my mind. I just saw that airplane taking on one of the tower and I said, this is nothing but Muslim attack. Because I know this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, I told my people in my church in Florida, and I said, the day will come where Muslims will terrorize Americans, because that's the only way you will fear them. That's the only way they can take over your country. And don't think that this is the end of it, because the years to come will show more and more of September 11 will happen in America. Just mark my word for it. And September 11 happened. And I saw the American people going to wake up. Because at least American people are going to open the Quran and read why these people is doing what they're doing to us. But guess what? It did not happen this way. We have a revival in America for a few weeks. People start going back to church and start praying. But after this, everything go back to the normal way of life. And Islam grow twice as fast. For now, Muslims come to our media speaking out loud and repeat their lies often as much as he can to tell the Americans that we are not terrorists, we are not extremists. These are bad Muslims where we are good Muslims. And now the media tells the American people there are two different Islam. Good Muslim and bad Muslim. No, my dear friend, no such a thing as moderate Muslim. Because a Muslim is a man who practices what is written in the Quran. Have you read the Quran yet? If not, you need to get a copy and read the Quran. What moderate Muslim calls the bad extreme Muslim bad, it's a lie, because the bad extreme Muslim are nothing but true believers who practice what Allah commands them in the Quran, if we just know the truth. September 11 happened, and 3,000 were killed, and their blood will be shed unfairly, unrespectfully, because we have not punished the one who commits a crime. And because we did not acknowledge who did commit the crime. It's not Muslim, because I believe deep in my heart that Muslims are victims of Islam. I believe the true criminal is Islam itself. The Quran is the true, who is the true criminal, should be punished. But sadly, no one reads the Quran, and Muslims defend themselves by telling that's not Islam. But if we just know the truth, we will find that Islam have done this to our people. I'd like to have a moment to respect those who die on that day. So I'll ask us to stand up just to honor those who die on that day. Thank you. You may be seated. Political correctness. Political correctness starts long time ago when people did not tell the truth about Islam, when Muslims start showing up in this country. And political correctness is the first enemy to the American and to the freedom we have in America. I could not see the political correctness any more clear than in this next video. I believe American people are very nice, naive people. Very forgiving, very giving. We forget what happened on that day. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to tell the stories that every time I go and do this presentation and I ask people in America, how many criminal, how many hijacker were on that day? I come up with all numbers. People tell me 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. And people forgot there were 19 hijackers. Then I asked the second question, where they were from? What countries they from? People don't know. 15 of them were from Saudi Arabia. As a matter of fact, our government know for sure that every attack took place against our people, our ships, our military, our interests in the Middle East. Every attack has been supported by Saudi Arabia. It was funded by Saudi Arabia. And we have a long list of long attack on us, and we have the proof that it's been performed with many Muslims from all over the world, but the support, the fund was from Saudi Arabia. And in 15 of January, the President of the United States of America went to Saudi Arabia to meet with King Fahd, the Saudi king. And I thought they're going to have a real serious talk. That Bush will look me in his eye and say, you're 15 hijacker. Your money is behind every trouble America has been seeing. And you must stop that. You must end that. No, political correctness play a huge role there. For our president commits the greatest crime against the 3,000 men and women who died on September 11 simply by dancing. They gave him a sword as a gift. What kind of gift a country give to a president? A sword. A picture of love. And he holds the sword on his shoulder and he danced holding hand with the Saudi king and they danced together. Political correctness. Dancing with our enemy. And I have spoken against what Bush have done there many times. And believe it or not, as I travel all over this country and I spoke against Bush, Democrats love it in the churches. For they thought I'm a Democrat. And here I would like to share with you, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative Christian American. I care about this country more than most of American people know how much I care about this country. For me to travel to tell the truth about Islam, I know this could cause me some harm someday. But I'm willing to stand up on the front line to warn you, to assure you, be aware of Islam, be aware of the Muslims, what they're doing in our country. Because I love this country and I love the freedom we have here. But when you see something wrong happen from the President of the United States of America, you must speak out loud and say, this is a crime. For the stench was still in the ground zero. You can smell the people flesh while he's dancing in Saudi Arabia with the Saudi king. That is a crime. Change take place. And Obama meet with the King Abdulaziz. That's King Fahd, brother. For King Fahd had died earlier. And let's watch what Obama did. You go to him and bow down to the king. And people tell me, no, he did not bow down. Watch again. Look at his hand. His hand is up and bow down to the king. This is the greatest. This is more crime than what Bush did. They're both wrong. And here I have to tell the truth that both parties, Republican and Democrat, are going in the wrong direction in this country for a long time. The difference between Republican and Democrat is Republican is going 20 miles an hour and Democrat 120 miles an hour in the wrong direction. They're both wrong. And I can give you not one example, a million examples for all the presidents since Reagan until now. First Bush, Clinton, second Bush, and Obama are nothing but destruction of America. You're losing your freedom because of these four men. Let's look at Arizona, for example. Do you think Republicans really want to close the border in Arizona? Absolutely not. They get cheap labor. Do you think Democrats will ever close the border? Absolutely not. Lots of voices. They're going to be voting for them next election. They're both doing the wrong things. They don't care about your future and about your freedom. That's why we need to vote for conservative, not Republican, not Democrat. Enough is enough. So he bowed down to the Saudi king. And by the way, when this took place, I went online to search and investigate the reaction of the Muslim world. Every country have celebrated the bowing down of the first Muslim president to the Saudi king. And they say, Allahu Akbar. He bowed down, and the day is coming where the rest of the Americans will bow down to Islam. That's how the Muslim world react to your president, bowing down to King Abdulaziz. How does a Muslim become Muslim? How does a Muslim become Muslim? Very important question. As I travel over this country and I say, Barack Hussein Obama is a Muslim, the first reaction will be, no, he's not a Muslim. He's a Christian. He's a committed Christian. Says who? Obama said. And I asked the person this question, how do Muslims become Muslim? I don't know. I guess you believe in Islam. No. Here's the answer, America. A Muslim become a Muslim when a Muslim father impregnated a female and have a baby. The baby is born Muslim, period. End of story. Let me say it again. If a Muslim male impregnated a female, the baby is born a Muslim. Therefore, Obama 100% is a Muslim, like it or not, even if he like it or not. If he chooses not to believe in it, that is Islam. I wish any Muslim leader or any Muslim imam, any Muslim mufti in the world call me or email me and tell me I'm wrong. Because that's what the Quran teaches. I was just speaking in a church in Ohio 2 weeks ago. And the imam came to the church. And he said, oh, you're not telling the truth. I said, why is that? He said, we love Christian. We love Jew. We even marry them. He said, we have no problem to marry to Christian women or a Jewish woman. I said, that's true. Because you're invading them. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, can I marry your sister? I only have one wife. Can I marry your sister? Can I marry your daughter? Can I marry a Muslim female? He said, no, you can't. I said, why is that? He said, because Muslim daddy controls the baby. I said, therefore, any pregnant woman by a Muslim man, the baby are Muslim. He said, yes. I said, thank you. Tell this American people. For Hussein is a Muslim man who impregnated and got Barack. Barack is a Muslim because that is Islam. Now, here's a good and very important question. What if a Muslim leave Islam? I mean, the heart of our ministry, our goal, our vision is to see every Muslim become a Christian. What happens if a Muslim leave Islam and become a Christian? It's very simple. Something we call honor killing. Oh, no, you cannot say honor killing in America. I mean, we tried this with Rifka Barry's case, and it did not work. Neither the lawyer or the judge allowed us to use the word honor killing in the court system because it's not politically correct. Well, honor killing is in the Quran, and honor killing is Islam. Watch this with me here. You can see this in chapter 6, verse 151. Same verse is repeated in chapter 17, 33, and chapter 25, 68 in the Quran. 3 verses, same word, and the Quran says,
And do not kill the soul which Allah forbids, except with a just cause.
Do not kill the soul which Allah forbid. What is the soul Allah forbid? The Muslim soul. You cannot kill a Muslim except for a just cause. What is the just cause? One of the following 3. You read this in the hadith, which obviously come from Bukhari, hadith, volume number 9, hadith number 17. And Muhammad said,
the blood of a Muslim cannot be shed except in 3 cases, for murder, adultery, and the one who becomes an apostate from Islam.
If a Muslim kill a Muslim, his blood must be shed. If a Muslim commit adultery, his blood must be shed, or her blood must be shed. If a Muslim leave Islam, that's apostate from Islam, his blood must be shed. You know, it's amazing. so many people in the world who left Islam become a Christian, and immediately they issue a fatwa decree to kill them. But so far, not one fatwa has been issued against Barack Hussein Obama. You know why? Because he's still a Muslim. They know he's a Muslim. They're celebrating him as a Muslim. The day he won the election in America, I went online and read what the world says. All newspapers, every person around the world celebrating Barack Hussein Obama as the first Muslim president in America. But American people did not know it. And until today, only 24% of American people believe Obama is a Muslim. And the rest have no clue. So this is Islam, and that's the punishment of Islam. Now I ask you a question, very important question. What is the chance? What is the chance for Barack Hussein Obama to come to the American people 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he started running for the office, and he just tell you bluntly, you know, I'm a Muslim guy, and I would like to be a president, vote for me. What is the chance for him to win? That's exactly 7 years after September 11. He just comes and say, vote for me, I'm a good Muslim American, and I would like to be your president. How about zero? He will have no chance to win. That's why the Quran gave what we call taqiyya. Way out, it's okay to lie to get to where you need to go. In chapter 16, verse 106, the Quran says,
Whoever becomes an infidel in Allah after he believed, except one who was compelled and his heart is secure in faith, but whoever opens his chest to the infidelity, the wrath of Allah will be on them, and they will have great torment.
Muhammad is compelled to lie to the American people and tells them, I am not a Muslim, I am a committed Christian. Because that's the only way for him to be the president of the United States of America. He wrote about this in his book, Dreams of My Father, 24 years ago, when he decided to, in his dream, to become the president of America someday. He knows 24 years ago how hard it is for John Kennedy to be a president simply because John Kennedy was what? A Catholic. For the line of the president in America must be Protestant. It was so hard for John Kennedy to be a president, and he knows, wait a minute, I'm a Muslim guy. What is my chance to be a president? It's going to be hard. So what should I do? He wrote in his book, to further my work in the community as organizer, I decided to join Jeremiah Wright Church. That's the main reason why Obama joined Jeremiah Wright Church. For his work in the community as organizer, as a community organizer. And obviously, for his dream to become true someday, to be the president of the United States of America. The Quran teaches it is lawful to deny your faith. Let's add this next very important verse. In chapter 2, verse 225, the Quran says,
Allah will not hold you responsible for your mere utterance in an oath, but He will hold you responsible for that which your hearts gained. And Allah is forgiving, forbearing.
You can lie in your swearing in Islam. It is lawful to say, I swear to Allah, tell the truth, nothing but the truth. And you can put your hand on the Quran and swear, and you're lying. Because Allah will not hold you responsible for your unintentional oath. Did you really mean it? Well, not really. Then it's okay. I remember 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I went to Tampa to become a citizen, I went to some court in Tampa where I have to give allegiance to America. And I stand there, and I raise up my right hand to the flag of the United States of America. And the judge says say words, and we repeat after him. And I pledge allegiance to the flag, and I pledge allegiance to the Constitution. And around me were at least 50, 60 Muslim men and women. The Muslim lady in their hijab, the man with the beard, standing next to each other. And by the way, when a Muslim grows up his beard, he is a jihadist. When a Muslim lady covered completely in hijab, she is a jihadist. You just don't know it yet. Because they're following the Quran to every small detail. Do you think these people are standing around me who raise up their right hand to pledge allegiance to America? Do you really believe they meant it? Their allegiance is number 1 to Allah, number 2 to Muhammad, number 3 to Islam, number 4 to their Muslim country. Kiss America goodbye. There's no room for you. And Allah taught them this in the Quran. Taqiyya. It's okay to lie to the Muslim, to the American people, because that's the only way you can survive. Listen to Muhammad's advice in the Hadith. What did Muhammad tell us about lying?
Muhammad said, it is lawful to lie in 3 cases. A man to his wife that she will be pleased with him, or at a time of war because war is deception, or to make peace between people.
How do you like that? If a Muslim man will lie to his wife and it is lawful, will he not lie to you, infidel American? And it's lawful to lie in time of war. As we're going to see in the second half of this presentation, that we are in war. And this war will not end by leaving Iraq and leaving Afghanistan and be coward and come back to America. This war will end when the last American will accept Islam, as it is written in the Quran. They began the war, and they will end the war, not us. And the war against Islam cannot be won with bullets. It only can be won with education. That's why we're doing our ministry. For people to know the truth about Islam, that they may wake up and save their country. Listen to the interview where Obama spoke. And by the way, all these things we're going to show to you is video. We got it simply because it's somehow leaked from the media. If it was not alive, we will never have access to this one, for example. Listen what Obama said here.
What I was suggesting, you're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not
Christian
come
faith.
My Christian faith. And well, what I'm saying is he hasn't
His
suggested that
connections,
I'm a Muslim.
John McCain did not talk about my Muslim faith. Oh, you mean Christian faith? Yeah, I meant my, the rumors that I'm a Muslim. If you never beat your wife, will you make a mistake and say, when I used to beat my wife? And John McCain gives this country to Barack Hussein Obama. John McCain can end this man legions or dream to become a president by simply asking him to show a birth certificate. This can be ended in the first debate. He said, well, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, I would like to debate you. Show me your birth certificate. That will end it on the spot. All right, let's move on. Here is Obama in his first interview with Al Arabiya. It's a Muslim site after he became a president of America.
I have Muslim members of my family. I have lived in Muslim countries.
The largest one.
In the largest one, Indonesia.
Do you know, during his campaign for an entire year, we could not use the name Hussein, which is his father's name. That's not a middle name. Obama's name is Barack Hussein Obama. Hussein is not a middle name. Hussein is his name, and that's how we write our names. You say your name, your father's name, your grandfather's name. We could not mention Hussein. Every time I went to speak somewhere and I said, Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, you're trying to scare us. You're trying to make us believe that he's Muslim. Here he is, first interview. He said, I have Muslim members in my family. I'm sorry, he's lying. He should say, all my family members are Muslim. I will dare any Obama supporter or Obama himself to show me one member in his family in Indonesia or in Kenya who is not a Muslim, who believe in some other religion. It doesn't even have to be a Christian. Who believe in, he's an atheist or agnostic or worships some cows in Africa. Somebody in Obama's family who is not a Muslim besides Barack Hussein Obama. And he lived in Indonesia. And we covered this in our first video, revealing the truth about Barack Hussein Obama. And he is so schemed. And he, in another interview, he was asked, Senator Obama, we know you're a Christian, but you live in Indonesia. Yeah, I lived in Indonesia, and I went to a Catholic school there. And everybody in Indonesia, I've been in Indonesia twice, and I know the rules in the Muslim world. Every Muslim student who ever attend a Catholic school, he must register himself as a Muslim student. For we cannot teach one Muslim student in all our Christian school 1 hour of Christianity. If we do, our school will be burned down. So it's very important for a Muslim student who attend a Catholic school, and plenty of them attend our Catholic school for better education, if you can afford it. They register themselves as a Muslim, and they attend a Muslim hour religious class every day in the school. But they will never hear about Jesus, for if we made a mistake, literally it will cost us a building or lives in these countries. Next, here's a picture of Obama. I like this one with smoking. Look like a very decent guy. Here's a picture taking place in Indonesia, of course, because that's a Muslim dressing in Indonesia. And here's a picture take place in Kenya, and he's a Muslim dressing in Kenya. The hat, the white hat, and the clothes. And it's very important you know. I know in America here, it doesn't matter how people would dress. You can even walk in the street naked, and it's okay. But in our countries, in Muslim world, Muslims have their own clothes, and Christians have their own clothes. I will never, I say it again, I will never in Indonesia dress like this Obama dressed as a Muslim clothes. I will never dress in a hat in Kenya or in Egypt, because this clothes belong to the Muslim. You will never see a Christian lady all over the 57 Muslim country covered in hijab. We Christian ladies don't cover in hijab. That's denying to the Christian faith. That's literally if you have deserted Christianity and became a Muslim. That's the only time a man will dress like that. And how old Obama here? 20-some years. Here, 20-some years. Obama was a Muslim at least until he joined Jeremiah Wright Church. 24 years old. Or I wish somebody tell me, what is the name of the church Obama attended before he walked the aisle in Jeremiah Wright Church? Not any church. There is no church. Obama never set a foot inside any church before Jeremiah Wright Church. And Jeremiah Wright Church, as we cover in our first DVD, it's very important for people to go and watch it one more time. He walks the aisle, never been baptized. This is the church who offered me a membership, knowingly I'm a Muslim. When the lady answered my question, when I said to her, what do I need to do to become a member in your church? Do I have to be baptized? She said, no. Do I have to give money? No. Do I have to attend the church meeting? No. I said, what do I need to do? She said, attend 2 Sunday school class, membership class, and walk the aisle. I said, ma'am, if I am a Muslim, and I believe in Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, but I also believe in Prophet Jesus, do I have to deny my Islamic faith? Do I have to give up my Islamic faith to be a member in your church? She said, absolutely not. We do have so many members in our church who are Muslim. That's when I told her, is that how Barack Hussein Obama joined your church? She said, she didn't answer the question. I can't answer this question. I said, ma'am, you already told me. You just told me that any Muslim can join your church by walking the aisle. That's his picture, Obama's brother Malik, a Muslim jihadist. Him and Roy Obama, both of them are Muslim jihadists in Kenya. He holds a picture, and he said when he's holding this picture, my brother will be a great president in America. He will treat the Jew rightly, even though he is a Muslim. His own brother Malik tells us that Obama is a Muslim. How about the grandma? Lots of people argue with me since the last 3 years when we put our first video and write to me, say, oh no, you're wrong. Sarah is a Christian. It's nothing about marry a Muslim man, make you a Muslim. Sarah is a Christian, and she is his grandma. I said, no, Sarah is a Muslim. He said, no, she's a Christian. Well, here is the evidence that Sarah Obama is a Muslim. Listen carefully.
The grandmother of U.S. President Barack Obama has arrived in Saudi Arabia for the Hajj, or Islamic pilgrimage to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, a Saudi daily said on Wednesday. Sarah Obama, aged 87, is being accompanied by a nephew and Obama's cousin Amran. She was one of the many guests of Saudi Arabia's king.
She just became a Hajjah. You cannot enter the land of Mecca. You cannot walk with your foot. They're passing law right now to stop the airplane from flying over Mecca in case there is an infidel in the airplane. No non-Muslim can enter Mecca. She went to Mecca and she performed the Hajj with Obama's cousin and Obama's nephew. 100% a Muslim woman. Let's listen to Michelle. Maybe Michelle will tell us what is Christianity is. And Michelle has been in this church 2 more years, Jeremiah Church, more than Obama.
We've got the best speaker, the smartest and best looking of the older Obamas. And that would be the First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama.
Hey, everybody. Is this not the most perfect day for the Easter egg roll? Let's say thank you to Mother Nature.
Yeah. Let's say thanks to Mother Nature. Where is Father God? Is Easter is about this big Bugs Bunnies you have in White House and the eggs you collect from the gardens? Is this how Jeremiah writes celebrate Easter? Mother Nature? Obviously, she does not know what Christianity is. And I don't believe any member in Jeremiah Wright Church know what Christianity is. For if there is a Christian in Jeremiah Wright Church, that's Trinity United Church of Christ, he will not stay there on one Sunday. If we just have studied liberation, black theology, it is a wicked theology. It's nothing but to teach hate against white. Let's see Michelle. She maybe help us out this time. By the way, every time Michelle Obama opened her mouth, she gets herself in trouble. Let's learn now, where is Barack Hussein Obama come from? What country he came from?
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya, we took a public HIV test. His home country in Kenya. His home country in Kenya. His home country in Kenya.
Me like he's from Kenya. Grandma Sarah told us where he was born. Well,
Mr. President, you're an American-born Christian. And yet increasing and now significant numbers of Americans in polls, upwards of a fifth of respondents, are claiming you are neither. A fifth of the people, just about, believe you're a Muslim.
Keep in mind those two things, American-born and Muslim are not the same. So, but I understand your point.
Either or the latter,
Right.
and the most recent number is the latter. This has to be troubling to you. This is, of course, all new territory for an American president.
There, if I spend all my time chasing after that, then I wouldn't get much done.
Even a number as sizable as this, what does it say to you? Does it say anything about your communications or the effectiveness of your opponents to...
Well, look, Brian, I would say that I can't spend all my time with my birth certificate plastered on my forehead. It is what the facts are. The facts, and so it's not something that I can, I think, spend all my time worrying about. I don't think the American people want me to spend all my time worrying about it.
don't you like the question, how the question is presented to the president? You're a Christian American. But there's a rumor outside there, 24% of American people believe you're not. You're a Muslim and you're not American. And his answer is, I don't want to waste my time to answer this question. I'm not going to put this birth certificate over my forehead and travel over the country, tell the people, here I am, American, here I am, here is my birth certificate. No, I will tell him, Mr. President, don't waste $1 million of your money to hide your birth certificate. You don't have to spend too much time to give your birth certificate. Just show it to somebody. One person in America. So far, not one person in America besides Barack Hussein Obama who have seen his birth certificate. And I dare any Democrat will come to me and tell me that I saw his birth certificate. And the birth certificate, as we have put in our first video, 6 error is not his birth certificate. And I know plenty of birth certificates are flying all over the internet now, where somebody tell me, here is a birth certificate in Kenya, here is another birth certificate in Kenya. The problem is not where he was born. The problem is he an American citizen? Show us your birth certificate. We know from his book he went to Pakistan 1981. And my question to the president, which passport did you use, Mr. President, when you went to Pakistan? Was it American passport? Absolutely not. For we did not issue any visa to any American 1980, 81, 82 to go to Pakistan. I don't think Reagan can even go to Pakistan this year. What passport did you use, sir, to go to Pakistan? Is it a British passport? You are born in Kenya? Or Indonesian passport, which means you lost your American citizenship? I mean, we can ask a million questions, and nobody's going to give us an answer. What's so hard for him to play one golf game minus one hole, and in this 5 minutes, show the birth certificate to somebody? Somebody beside his wife. We're no longer a Christian nation. We have played this video previously in our first video, and I'll play it again because it's very important to know the truth about Obama from his own word. And he says,
In fact, the single biggest gap in party affiliation among white Americans today is not between men and women, or those who reside in so-called red states and those who reside in blue, but between those who attend church regularly and those who don't. I think we make a mistake when we fail to acknowledge the power of faith in people's lives, in the lives of the American people. I think it's time that we join a serious debate about how to reconcile faith with our modern pluralistic society. And if we're going to do that, then we first need to understand that Americans are religious people. 90% of us believe in God. 70% affiliate themselves with an organized religion. 38% call themselves committed Christians. Substantially more people in America believe in angels than they do in evolution. Whatever we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just. We are also a Jewish nation, and a Muslim nation, and a Buddhist nation, and a Hindu nation, and a nation of non-believers. And even if we did have only Christians in our midst, if we expelled every non-Christian from the United States of America, whose Christianity would we teach in the schools? Would it be James Dobson's or Al Sharpton's?
No, Mr. President, we will teach the Christianity of the entire Bible. I did not know that James Dobson has his own Christianity, and I don't believe Al Sharp is a Christian. So we open the Bible and we teach the Christianity of the Bible. And then he said,
which passages of Scripture should guide our public policy? Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay, and that eating shellfish is an abomination? Or we could go with Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application?
what a great president, make fun of the Bible. What a committed Christian in ignorancy, make fun of the Bible. And you know, guys, I've been ministering to Muslim people now for almost 20 years or so. And when I hear Obama speaking here, he literally speaking as a good Muslim. All Muslims speak the same way. Do you know how many times I debate and argue with Muslims about the book of Leviticus? And they said, well, the book of Leviticus teaches slavery. That's why we even made a whole seminar, almost 3-hour, Islam and slavery, just to cover this point. The book of Leviticus, Mr. President, never taught slavery. If you have read the Bible and you understand the Bible, you talk like an idiot Muslim, like all Muslims do, and you have never even studied or know what the truth about the book of Leviticus. Leviticus talking about hiring. You go work for somebody and they will pay you upfront, and then in the 7 years you go free. That's not slavery. And when you leave in the 7 years, you don't leave empty-handed. They have to give you a gift from wherever the Lord bless you as you work in the field. Said. You cannot see, you see, the President of the United States make fun of the book of Leviticus with ignorancy like all Muslims do. The Bible is very clear. If any man hold a person against his will, or selling this person, the punishment of this man, the book of Leviticus, Mr. President, he must be put to death. That is what you don't understand about the Bible. I know you don't know anything about shellfish or not shellfish. It's very important, Mr. President, to know that in the Old Testament, there is clean and unclean animals for one purpose, and one purpose only. That is, some clean animals can be used for sacrifice because it's a picture to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for our sin. And Jesus was pure without sin. Therefore, eating a shellfish is a sin in the Jewish faith. But after Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead, you can eat whatever you want, Mr. President. And you're making fun of the Sermon on the Mountain? It's a radical passage to you, Mr. President. The greatest teaching, Matthew 5, 6, and 7. I doubt even you know where is the Sermon on the Mountain in the Bible, sir. Because I doubt you even read it once in the Bible. Because if you have read it, you will never make fun of it and call it a radical passage. And here's the President of the United States of America, speaking like a Muslim and making fun of the Bible. And still people in our churches today believe he's a Christian. And he's bragging about we're no longer a Christian country, as you're going to see in the next video. He's traveling all over the world, apologizing and kissing hand and feet and bowing down to foreign kings, which is a shameful thing for a president of the United States of America to bow down to anybody. Because he make you all bow to the Saudi king, not just himself, for he presents you as a nation.